The camera does not do this thing justice, but check out that P1 style carbon fiber hood. I'm in love. My buddy Spencer's rolling over, then we're headed to a friend's house for a little caravan and headed out to HRE open house. On the way to Isaac's, we got Spencer in the car. I'm freaking tired, dude. Squatted up, we got a 570S, a beautiful M3, and then an M4 up ahead. And Isaac in the E92. Oh boy, I like the McLaren's toast. Look at this intimidation right now.
Yeah, I know.
What on earth? For Isaac? No! Damn. How did he pick between those two?
Yeah, I know. Oh. Sorry, buddy.
Pulled over to wait for my buddy Isaac. Unfortunately, he did in fact get a ticket, and the cop gave him a non-correctable ticket, unlike the fix-it ticket I got on my Mercedes. So it's gonna cost him 200 bucks, and he's gotta fix it. But this is a cool opportunity to check out the 600 LT next to a 570S to spot all of the differences. So like I was saying in the last video, the front ends of these cars, especially with the stock hood on the 600, do look pretty similar, but that roof scoop makes such a big difference. And this carbon hood. Isaac's frozen white E92 M3.
One of the kids who's kicking it with us, Nick, who was taking all the pictures, lives out here, and he's like, yeah, dude, the Newport cops are dicks. So I was like, oh, you know what? Fuck that.
What did your plate say? Plain Jane?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty dope. Congrats on the new car, by the way.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it.
This is beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful M4 GTS just chilling over there. So it turns out the spot we stopped at when Isaac got pulled over is the South OC Cars and Coffee. So we're gonna check this out on the way to HRE. Well, after a 2.5 hour long drive, we are finally pulling up to the event. I am pumped. I haven't been here in 2 years. Wow, look at that slammed Lexus. Oh, we pulling in. Clean satin black GT3. Nismo! The color combination on this M5 is epic. I love those bronze HREs. Last time I was out at HRE, I was picking up my new wheels from Anarchy for the supercharged Huracan. Anarchy's wheels are made at HRE, but today, this event is absolutely crazy. Check this out, behind me we've got 3 different Ford GTs. Well, 2 new ones. This is a Heritage, a really cool gray colored one, and then a Superformance GT40. I haven't seen too many new Ford GTs on aftermarket wheels. That looks amazing. Thing's got RTRs on it. This S4 is badass. Sheepy Race twin turbo Huracan. Check this thing out. One of the coolest parts about this event is they actually open up their facility where some of the best wheels in the world are made and show you some behind the scenes stuff. We've got some crazy cars inside the warehouse. All right, there are some awesome cars in this row of the warehouse. We've got a 600 LT Spider, and it's kind of cool to see the difference between this and my car in terms of the carbon fiber options. You can get basically every single component of the car in carbon fiber like I have, and if you don't, this is what it looks like. Check out the rear diffuser. That can be one massive sheet of carbon fiber, same with the top up here. And then these are the standard bucket seats as opposed to the Senna seats. More comfortable, but definitely not quite as cool. The one benefit to the Spider though is with the top down, it sounds absolutely ridiculous. But if there was some way that you could get a roof scoop with a convertible, which really is impossible, that would be killer. Check out the rear of this Senna. Now, interestingly enough, the US spec Sennas have 2 exhaust pipes, but the European Sennas have 3. The spec is wild. One of the coolest parts of the car, those see-through doors. You can see the Senna seats poking through. Probably my favorite car of the show so far, this MSO deep purple Mclaren P1. Looks absolutely savage. Check out the wheels on this thing. I believe these wheels are 3D printed. This was a crazy project by HRE. Check out the intricacy of those wheels. That is nuts. And then looking on the interior of the car, that quilted leather is badass. I guess it's quilted Alcantara. Definitely the best looking rear end of any McLaren. This is exactly where I stood about 1.5 years ago and watched my wheels get made. That was a pretty cool experience. Check out the machines they've got. HRE dust.
So this is the first generation wheel that we did with HRE, and this was a design exercise to see what could we do with titanium additive manufacturing for wheels. It's segmented into multi-pieces because right now we're limited by build size. But this was really an exercise in a very lightweight, crazy geometry additive wheel concept in titanium.
Is it 3D printed or?
Yes, the whole center section's 3D printed in multiple segments. The wheel over there was our 2nd generation, and this one was done with a lot more FEA in mind. So
gotcha.
It was, I can show you real quick here, kind of the difference. So you got the original wheel here was just more for just being able to put it together on the car.
Sure.
This one was a lot of FEA in it. This is very structurally sound for additive. It's still done in multiple segments and pieces that we have to be able to join on the wheel or on the car. But right now, that's our only limiting factor is really the size.
Gotcha.
So,
what would a set of 4 wheels like this go for?
We can't talk cost yet. It's not in production. It's upwards tens of thousands of dollars right now because the
per wheel.
No,
maybe
I could get you a whole set in that upper range.
Gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
But yeah, that's what we're working on, right?
Cool.
It's about, this is very new, especially for wheels. It's about getting this seeing what's really feasible and getting it into a cost range that makes sense for, you know, titanium. It's got a much higher strength to weight ratio than aluminum, so
yeah,
it can make it very strong and very lightweight. So it's about where can we take that.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Yep.
So I wasn't able to get an exact price, but I did hear whispers that they might be upwards of $80,000. $80,000 wheels, can you imagine? We've got the second generation of those wheels on this beautiful Heritage Ford GT. Another one of my favorite cars of the show. I'm absolutely in love with the way the Pista looks. My friend is taking delivery of his Pista soon, and hopefully we can get a review of the car. Miles in the 600 LT. What is going on, guys? It's the next day. I am super excited because I finally got my windshield replaced on the 600 LT. It was a super easy process. I reached out to McLaren Beverly Hills and McLaren Corporate. McLaren Beverly Hills sent out a truck, picked up the car, fixed the windshield, put a new one in, dropped it back off, all for free, even washed it. It was still dirty from that LA River adventure, and it's good as new. Check it out, no more cracks in the windshields. I saw a kind of funny comment when I was talking about it at the LA River video where you guys went, no, Parker, you're thinking about it all wrong. That's actually a good thing. It's one of the only cars in the world that's so savage that it can actually crack its own windshield. That is an interesting way of looking at it. And kind of cool. Now, I asked you guys what you thought about the carbon fiber hood in terms of should I paint it or should I leave it exposed carbon fiber? But the one thing I didn't actually think of that everyone pointed out was that there used to be a McLaren badge right here and there no longer is one. And I agree, I think it looked better with the McLaren badge. Here is the badge. It's got this sticky tack on the back. My only fear with doing it myself is I don't want to align it improperly, and it actually kind of looks like there's a bit of a ridge here, so I don't know how the flat logo will work on that, but I think I do want to put the McLaren logo back on the car. All right, I went ahead and stuck it on, and now I'm really at a loss whether I like this more or not. What do you guys think? McLaren logo on the front hood. All right, now I think it's time to take the McLaren out for a spin. I've got a cool video shoot downtown that I'm really excited to share with you guys. I think the video is gonna come out absolutely awesome. Now, last night, for the first time, I started watching the show Drive to Survive. It's a Netflix special on Formula One, and it covers the entire 2018 series, and I believe the new season covers the 2019 series. But whether you like Formula One or you've never even seen any Formula One, it is an amazing series. Seriously, it's really, really captivating. I've been binge watching the absolute crap out of it. All right, going for a little cruise now in the 600 LT. I wanted to spend some time talking about some news from Lamborghini. So Lamborghini just dropped the bomb on us with something that I can't imagine anyone outside of Lamborghini expected to arrive. And that is an off-roading supercar. It's called the Lamborghini Huracan Tirado, and it's an off-road version of the Huracan Evo. What? And yes, it's actually a real car. They've built several of them, and lucky few people from places like Motor Trend and Top Gear have already driven it, although their driving impressions are under embargo until a couple days from now. But I wonder what the driving route was like. Lamborghini fell in love with off-roading while developing the Urus, and they thought, well, let's try out what else we can make off-road. And that developed the Lamborghini Huracan Dorado. So it's based on the Huracan Evo that has 630 horsepower and is basically at this point a more commonplace version of the Performante with most of its technology, beautiful interior screens. But they've done some major tweaks to it. For one, the ground clearance has been increased by 1.8 inches, which is a massive difference for a supercar. That way, if it's trying to go over rocks or go up or down steep hills, it can more easily do so. The track has actually been widened as well by 1.2 inches to help accommodate massive off-roading tires. The sidewall is like 3 times thicker than what you're used to on a normal supercar. They're made by Pirelli, and they are very, very aggressive. Now, in order to accommodate these tires further, they had to do wide body fender flares. They even had to push the axle slightly forwards, which required new control arms as well. Furthermore, they've got shielding protection to protect the body of the car from rocks and damage. Apparently, they tested the car out without any of the shielding, and then they added protection in parts that were damaged during testing. So we've got an aluminum front support in the front end of the car, as well as the side to block rocks from smashing into the radiator, and there's a aluminum sill in the back as well that also acts as a functional rear diffuser. Even the computers have been reprogrammed to better suit the car for off-roading. Oh yeah, and it has LED light pods in the front and a light bar on the roof for, I guess, off-roading at nighttime. Regardless, it is a ridiculous concept. It'll be interesting to see if it ever actually hits the road. I'm not sure how big of a marketplace there is for off-road Lamborghinis. It's certainly a flex to have one if you just drove it on the road in Rodeo Drive, but are there enough people actually interested in taking them off-roading? I'm curious to see if they have statistics behind what percentage of customers actually ever take their Urises off-road. I imagine the number is very small, but from the time that I spent with it, please, if you have a Urus, take the thing off-roading. Lastly, I wanted to give an update on the SVJ. I've been seeing a lot of comments about the car. As many of you know, I made a video describing that I no longer was going to take delivery of my Lamborghini Aventador SVJ for a number of reasons. The main one being the production numbers were just much higher than expected. When I originally submitted my deposit, I honestly thought they were going to make 300 in total. And then when they ended up making 900 coupes, 800 roadsters, and then 63 additional SVJ 6.3s, and then I believe they're going to make 19 additional SVJ 1963 roadsters, I kind of lost interest in the car. But I made the specking video. I was still interested in the time, spec'd it in light gray, which I thought looked fantastic. I actually ended up changing it to Rosso Bia, which was the launch color for the Aventador SV. I absolutely love that color. It's this pearlescent red that's a little bit deeper than Rosso Mars. That I think really accentuates the lines of the car. Now, I've just been told that my car recently was delivered to Manhattan Motor Cars in New York City. That's where I got the allocation from, and I was sent pictures, and it looks absolutely badass. Check this out, guys. I think the red looks fantastic. I went pretty overboard with the options in terms of carbon fiber, track telemetry, speaker system, interior, so on and so forth. I love the interior as well with the black and white seats, the carbon fiber roof. Oh man, why am I'm like talking myself back into this. But I wanted to show you guys pictures of the car because it did actually end up being delivered. It's there. If you're interested in buying it, it's actually for sale right now. So if you want to purchase what would have been my SVJ, hit up Manhattan Motor Cars. Lastly, if you guys didn't see my review on the Ford GT40, make sure to check that out. One of the craziest cars I've ever driven in my entire life. A piece of history, an absolute masterpiece of a car. I very much enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video.